Hello everyone, this is Scott from thealexvision.com. Today I'll be reviewing Baidu PC Faster. I was asked to review this by one of your fellow commenters, and I figure I would take a look at it. The first thing that I can see right off the bat is it's a very traditional antivirus and cleaner that we're seeing coming out of a lot of Chinese companies, including Baidu 360. They're all like almost they're not stealing the design, but they all have very similar design with their program. I mean, if you look at this, and then we're going to open up 360 Total Security right next to it, it's pretty similar in its layout. This is just up here. It's a very similar layout. But as we can see, it'll improve your boot time, it'll end running tasks, and it will clean your junk files. And there's a lot of configurations that you can do, but I figured that always the best place to start is to go into your settings to make sure nothing's erased. I always turn these off. This is only if you have the PC Faster, which is, yeah, this is only if you have their browser installed with the PC Faster. This is not applicable to us. This basically says, do you want it to load on boot? It recommends it. You can turn it off in most cases. You won't see that much of a performance impact by turning it off. Junk files, this will warn you if your junk files are too large. If so, it'll clean them for you, so that way you don't have an overcollection of temporary files, especially if you're downloading things, a lot of items such as videos, images, games. They leave a lot of junk files, and in case Windows creates a lot of temporary files, this will help you clean them up. Speed up. This is the boot time helper to tell you about how fast your boot time is. I don't see the point of that, but we'll leave it on. Update. You can leave it on. Typically, I always turn it never update. And enable self-defense. This will help protect the program itself. It's not an antivirus, but it does have a virus scan, and I say that with quotes around it because it's not a full-fledged antivirus program by any measurable standards. So if you plan on actually using the program, use the enable self-defense, but otherwise keep it temporary. Quick settings, you can turn off simple things. So join the Baidu, automatically clean threats. It'll send suspicious files to them to check. It's not, Baidu antivirus is not the best in the industry. It's behind 360 Total Security, but it doesn't do as bad as even like Avast. It scores pretty high, but comparing to its like main competition, which are, I'm just gonna say, straight out of China, 360 Total Security does beat it. But I figure, why not? We'll do a full scan right here. So it's gonna go through and it's gonna go through your junk files and see if there's anything useless. It's checking the app data, your programs, and your program files, and then after that it's going to say, hey, these files are useless, let's delete them. Memory releases, we already said it's going to close unnecessary programs automatically. It can do it automatically. Also, a neat little trick that this thing has is if you come over here, it'll give you the percentage, and this right here, when clicking it, it will automatically turn them off. So think of it as if you have an Android device and you use an antivirus from this, typically if you have a little program, a little like slider on the side, 360 Total Security does this as long as the IOBits antivirus and performance tool. You'll have this little slider, and when you click it, it'll close programs and tasks. That's basically what this is, but it's for the PC. They're taking a very like app. This is where the companies, they've made an app version of it, is what you could say. They have, rather, instead of gone with the traditional PC program, they try to make it more app friendly because they picture that with Windows 8 it's going to be more intuitive with touch screens, but as you can see, this is not a touch screen. I was touching my screen right there, nothing happened. So ultimately, it's kind of useless. I don't really enjoy app interfaces, however, there's nothing wrong with them. But let's show over here. Okay. It found junk files from my browsers only in Mozilla. So it doesn't delete cookies, but it'll delete unnecessary items, mostly your history. It's not going to delete anything that you may actually need, and they're all configurable. It found multimedia junk files from Windows Movie Player and Adobe Flash Player. Typically, they'll run them in cache, If you are on my website, the Arcade Corner, and play games, Flash Player may actually load it into your. It loads the game into your computer and then displays it. You basically download it from the server and then it loads it on your PC. You're not playing all of it strictly from my server. A Flash game is just it's loaded and then the Flash on your computer plays it. Application data. This is just depending on the application. Windows Mail, Tencent QQ, Kingsoft Office. It's all found these. Bing apparently it's got quite a bit. I don't know what those are going to be. These are my apps. Notepad++. IO but uninstall. It's finding a bunch of cache data. Temporary files seem to be in large quantities. Log files, patch files. These are patch files are when you have leftovers. Sometimes Windows will make a backup, and you don't typically need them. You don't need to keep them there, but it's typically a good thing to do it, especially if you just recently installed them. I always say about a week. If after a week it still functions, you should be deleting it, which in this case I can. They say that there's about idle services that they can close, and then the items that they can optimize. System speed up, services, startups, scheduled tasks, and internet speed up. I actually want to be able to change that, so I'm not going to do this because I don't like the way that it is. But actually, we're going to come over and I'm going to show you the privacy cleaner. I don't want to clean those off because there's some services that I have running that I do for other things and I don't want them closing. And that's always a headache. Okay, privacy. What this basically does is it will delete privacy files such as your Windows, your save history, recent applications. If I get on someone's computer, I can basically retrieve their history, their recent applications, uninstalled applications, recently installed applications. This is a good way to help remove them. Some applications store data such as Flash Player, Acrobat, and there are a huge list right here, which they can actually be deleted. So I'm actually going to clean this after I check this real quick. And let's make sure that if there's history, location, and size of MS Windows. So basically, yep. Okay, it's cleaned up that. It's cleaned this up. Also, you can change the privacy of visited websites. This is where you'll be able to change. This is how you'll actually be able to delete all your history from your actual videos and stuff. And I'm going to show you the ones that I recommend. Don't ever delete your cookies. Typically, your cookies you don't want them to be cleaned, just because they hold login information for websites, and it can always be very tedious. So I say, let's go in and I'm going to delete the history. I'm going to close all my browsers, and I'm going to say Google Chrome history, Firefox history. Autosaves you want to keep. This is their Baidu browser. Firefox can stay. And typically your history is a good thing to delete, even if you don't do anything like bad or anything that would be like, how do we say? If you're doing things that you don't want others to see, there's also some other benefits to it as well. Typically, a large history just leaves a bunch of remaining junk files on your computer, which is useless. And otherwise, you just don't want people looking through your history and doing what you're doing. That's probably the biggest reason. I'm sorry, I can't help you guys any other way with there. Just if you're doing something that you don't want others to see, that's probably your best bet. The plugin cleaner will help it find malicious plugins and plugins that are not necessarily good. A lot of browsers have malicious plugins running, and they may not even know it. This is a good tool to help you find them. It's very similar to like the browser cleanup tool that you get in the recent Avast editions. The software cleaner will scan through software programs that you may no longer need or use. It's going to say, hey, you haven't used these programs in how long? You don't need these. This is Blade and Soul. It's in Chinese character, so it doesn't support those. That's actually kind of interesting. This one is not. I don't understand their logic there. Apple device. This is just items that it doesn't even. It's gonna say, yeah, you don't need these. Borderlands 2, 103.8684 gigabytes. I'm sorry, but that is wrong. It is very wrong. It's not that large. This is accurate. China Localization Patcher is another program that I use for Blade and Soul. I play the Chinese version of it, and I have a localization patcher, so that way it's in some English, I find it to be very fun, but that's besides the point. This is a good way to gauge what programs are taking up extreme amounts of space and say, hey, you don't use these, so why do you have them? Right here it says I have 2 installed versions of PlanetSide. Let's open this location, PlanetSide 2, and let's open up this one. Installed locations, and Sony Online Entertainment installed games PlanetSide 2. There are not duplicates, they're the exact same file formats. I don't know why it's showing me that. So, as we can see, just recommendations. It's a good way to see what you don't need. Nothing that I want to get rid of. Scanning large files. This is probably your biggest thing. If you have large videos or items on your hard drive that are not needed and are just basically collecting dust and taking up space, this is a good way to help you find them. I recommend actually doing this quite often, especially if you have a lot of images. I store all my images online in the cloud. I have a 360 cloud right there is what I typically use. It gives me 36 terabytes. It is in Chinese, but even if you just learn what the symbols are or you just take a lucky guess, 36 terabytes is a really good deal. And I've translated some of it. It's not perfect by any means, but I've translated some of it that I'm able to find. The rest of it, though, I'd have to try and either wait until they translate to English or go online and try to find a English version of it. I want to do the speed up real quick just to show you guys what it's like. Okay. Speed up is your best friend. This will help you keep startup items, applications, services, and tasks that are running. So here's what it says. The suggestion, it recommends keeping my Logitech gaming framework. That's from my headset that I'm using to record. If I don't have this, it's going to cause issues. It doesn't actually recommend running Chrome because Chrome is just a browser and it doesn't need it unless you have programs that are running. It's just not needed. Along with the Akami Net session, they're not needed. So disable, disable, disable. And it doesn't recommend 360 total security only because they're their competition. But 360 total security and any antivirus program that you're using, you actually should. And this one says depends on your need related to the system driver. You don't really need this to launch. I typically do, but the HD audio and the headset I have to have running. Your services are, again, it knocks out 360 total security, which is kind of funny. Kind of shows a little bit of bias there, but maintain you can typically get, if it's auto start, keep it. Maintain means it really depends on you. You can turn it off or on, and disable means you should disable it. I don't understand this. And desktop level support. I disagree with their suggestion. I disagree with that. And 360 total security, again, they smack away. Windows services. Okay, my words of advice is don't ever listen to these programs with Windows services. Do not trust them. They will disable a lot of them, which you may actually need. Unless you know what you're doing and you actually go in and disable them like I kind of have, don't play with these. You can hurt your computer. A lot of people do this, and then you have to go in and fix it, and it's just a pain in the butt. Mobile broadband account, I don't know what that is. Suggestion, delete this. Okay. Yeah, that's actually useless to me. Okay, here are the startup. Here's the scheduled things that are running on startup. This doesn't need to run on startup. Anything that comes from basically IObits or any other program that you're using, you don't need them on startup. Despite what people think, you don't need them. In fact, I actually recommend turning them off because they're kind of useless. These ones I don't recommend screwing with because, again, this program's not that smart. Don't know what that is. It's not malicious. Oh, that may actually be the folding from Stanford University. And that's useless. Okay, so we've done what we need, and everything is done to speed up. The last thing is really a virus scan, and we'll just do a quick cloud scan. This is not a replacement for full-fledged antivirus. Think of it as Malwarebytes anti-malware. So far, this tool actually, this program slash tool slash toolbox slash trinket is actually pretty good. It does a good chunk of features that you'd get in other programs, such as IOBIT's Advanced System Care, does it at a free price, but it misses out on a lot of the optimization tools, such as defragment. That is probably the one thing that I don't see coming out of many of the Chinese companies, is any form of software that goes for defragmenting and optimizing the drives, simply because of the fact many of the companies there are actually using solid state drives. Solid state drives don't need to be defragmented, but you can optimize them in a very similar way to um, hard drives, but they don't typically recommend it because it's just ultimately useless. The speed that you're getting, the little bit of improvement, just not worth your time. So, as we could see, it's definitely got a lot of features. It's even got more here. Windows Update, Quick Scan. It's going to have this little download icon. It's going to have you download them. We even got a disk defragmenter. In fact, let's test it. It doesn't come standard just because of the fact there's no need for it anymore. A lot of hard drives are just becoming solid state drives. They're becoming cheaper. Samsung's putting out solid state drives that are really cheap and extremely powerful. And we're just going to analyze this, and I'm going to see what it says. It's going to write it, and it's going to optimize it, and it's going to try. I'm not going to make you guys sit through this, but it's a nice tool. Baidu Disk Defrag. Very simple. Fragment size 34.7 gigabytes. I have 8 I've been slacking, haven't I? Deep defrag is their optimization. I may actually just run this for my own sanity. Got like an OCD with that kind of thing. Windows Update. It'll install Windows updates. It does it faster. You get this with 360 total security. File Shredder. It'll overwrite the files through a secure Gutman method, which is the 32-bit override, which is good if you're deleting company files. Again, if you're a company and you're giving away computers or you're trying to trash things, the best thing to do is take a hammer to it and break it. I don't ever recommend any sort of company or anyone who has any valuable information trying to sell this, because there's been numerous times where people have gotten phones, hard drives, or any other piece of technology, been able to extract information from it, and they did not know this. In fact, a lot of people who are smart, maybe not smart, but who go to these types of business sales where they give away like old stuff or they're selling it, they do tend to, they just get their information because, oh, we deleted everything, it's good. No, the best thing to do is to always just take a screwdriver or a hammer and go right through the drive. Break it, burn it, do whatever you need to do. Just don't try selling it. A lot of people really mess up with that. Game Faster. This is actually, I wouldn't say my favorite feature because I'm not allowed to have like favorites here, but as a gamer, I kind of love to have my games running as fast as I can. I have so many MMOs. I have a lot of competitive games on here, and I don't like lag. If my FPS is too low, or if my ping is like, even if my ping ever goes above like 40, I'll start getting annoyed. But I'm actually going to show this to you guys, and it's not standard, but I want to kind of show you. It's going to add automatically. It's going to find this. Okay. BlueStacks, you are in fact a very dumb game. This is a very dumb program if we haven't realized that yet. BlueStacks App Player is not a game at all. But I'm going to show you how to add them. What we're going to do is we're going to go into this. I don't know what this is. PC Faster. Okay. I want to show you guys where I need a game. I need a good game. I don't remember playing this game much, but Mabinogi. Okay, that's the setup file. Up. Now here's what's going to happen. It launches the game, and it's going to close the programs, unnecessary background items. The disk is being used up because I'm defragmenting, but it closed them and then it launched it. That way, you have no lag. But this is a really, really smart idea. If I'm just going to speed up right now, it's going to close memory, optimize everything, and it's at 100%. My CPU usage went way down. It's kind of fluctuating because as the programs are trying to restart, it's telling it you don't need to, and it's fluctuating greatly. But you won't see much of a difference as far as that, and it's also because I'm defragmenting the hard drive. Memory usage is stable. 16% is not much at all. Hot games. Okay, you know what? I know how we all tend to hate advertisements, but I've actually been looking at ways, and this is ingenious. Hot games are actually sponsored games or games that either the staff has picked or they're being paid to place them there. Um, Everyone's gonna say, whoa, 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 advertisements in this? How could they? I say, it's actually pretty freaking genius. A lot of these games actually look kind of interesting, and I may have like 5 more games to install. No, I'm kidding. Actually, I'm probably not. My computer's gonna have like a million games on it by the time I'm done. But this is the model that everything's transferring to. It's a we place advertisements in it, and you get something that you want. Games that are apparently hot and recommended, and we get revenue. I actually like that model more than making people pay for junk. Why make them pay? Why make the user pay when? Yeah, I mean, if you offer a paid version that removes the advertisements, good. Not many people are going to go there. But you say, okay, here's some games that they may actually enjoy, and we're getting paid, so the program is not costing us a dime, and we don't have to charge them anything. And the only ones that are actually losing anything is really the companies who are offering to put the games here. I don't know whether they're sponsored or whether they're staff picks, but actually some of these games look kind of cool. Okay, I gotta stop before I start downloading stuff. Ugh, self-control. As we can see, there's a lot on a lot and a lot of stuff. Facebook repair is actually kind of a funny one. There's a lot of people who typically have issues getting on Facebook because they broke it. They borked something, they downloaded something, and then they're unable to access Facebook, or it redirects them. And a lot of pages will fake the Facebook login to where you input your info, and then they have a key log. It's not a key logger, but you sent the information, now it's saved to their database. This will help you trying to gain access to Facebook if you're having issues getting on there, but otherwise it's pretty useless. The App Store is the Windows 8 App Store before it was cool. Baidu, 360, and Tencent all have different app stores with different apps, and you download them off an app store. This one has programs that it recommends. Hey, you're using Adobe Flash Player. Well, did you know Adobe Air was also popular? It also does things very similar to it, and it will recommend that you install them. It's got a ton of useful features. I do like the program, and while the interface may seem cheap or kind of like knocked off, it is actually very clean. It has everything in here that I would ever need. And I want to show you guys Advanced System Care just so you could see a comparison. I'm going to have to go into here, aren't I? We have this interface with Home Cleaner Virus Scan, and it's got to launch it because I told it not to run in the background. And let me think. The only thing it doesn't really do is the shortcuts, and it doesn't do shortcut cleaner, I'm sorry, but it does do the system optimization, the junk files, the disk optimization, the vulnerability scan. The disk scan is kind of gimmicky because if there's a hard disk error, Advanced System Care really can't fix it much other than trying to find bad sectors, and in many cases I actually find this to cause more issues than what it's worth. Registry defrag, which actually doesn't really do much at all because you're keeping your registry very clean as it is. Shortcuts, they don't do. The internet boost is sort of in there. The malware scan, it does. The registry, it does not do. There is no real registry scanner. That is kind of holding this thing back in comparison to Advanced System Care. As we can see, we got junk files galore, temporary files, cache files, patch files, log files, but no exactly does it say the registry. Tisk, tisk, tisk. So it needs the registry. The privacy sweep, it does this, it does. It does most of the features here. You're going to miss out on the registry and the shortcuts. And of course the disk scan and the registry defrag, these 4 features that are not really even needed. You're going to miss out on some of the protection features, including surfing protection, but that's gimmicky. In fact, I always turn it off because it's more annoying. You miss out on the home page protect. 360's total security may actually be getting a lot of these features in the recent update, in the next update. System reinforce, it misses out on. The toolbar cleaner, it already has. The anti-tracking, it misses out on, which basically just deletes your history and cookies after you close the browser. And the real-time protector, it also misses out on. But again, this doesn't really do anything, no offense. I think it's kind of cool, but it is really bad. The uninstaller, it has an uninstaller. It's probably not as strong as IObit uninstaller. It does not do driver booster, as we can see. It does not show this, but these are just downloads. It does have this. It does not do start menu 8, but not needed. Default program does not do. File shredder, it can do. This is honestly the most useless thing on here. Restores deleted files after you have emptied the recycle bin. Chances are, is if you've done it, it's if you deleted it, not if you've done it. Ugh, that English is a Polish. But undelete is useless. Disk Doctor, again, is not really going to need. PC Transfer is a very handy tool. As far as Advanced System Care goes, it's going to beat out Baidu PC Faster. However, if you don't need a lot of these programs, I actually recommend downloading Baidu PC Faster or another alternative, if there is any, from another company that's very similar, 360 or Tencent, because they all do basically the same thing. It's really clean. It's very lightweight. It does the job, and it offers a ton of features that I actually enjoy. It does not come. It's not an all-in-one toolbox like you're going to get with Advanced System Care, but it's a valuable tool that I actually do recommend you using. So thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned for the next video. If you want to see the full rating, make sure you check it out on the website. It may or may not be down right now. I was having issues with my hosting, and I'm actually shut down from that and the arcade corner because of some issues, but they should be back up before the video is posted. If it's not, it'll be up as quick as physically possible. So thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned for the next video, and I'll see you next time.